Thanks for staying with us. There is a stereotype that male folks find their strength in science and technology, while the female, for some reason, we just never really get on in that class. Today's show, our guests will be highlighting the importance of young women getting involved in science and technology. Joining us on the show is an information technology and security expert, Sherifat Akinwumi. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you. You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Before we get into the high-tech conversation, I'd like to hear your thoughts on our last topic, when the Honorable Minister was saying that Nollywood should take a bit more responsibility and stop portraying movies that have money rituals. What do you think about that?
Well, I think just like with every other thing, it has the good side and the bad side.
Right.
So while movies may portray some certain aspect, there are some good parts to movie. A more disturbing one is social media. So if you say movies are portraying, bad habits, what about social media? A lot of people post things and some people just see it and then take it like that. So yes, as an individual, you should be able to know what is right and what is wrong, basically.
So every one of us should have actually those ethical standards.
Yes.
Your own compass.
You have your own compass,
Okay,
exactly.
all right. So going into science and tech, tell us a bit about yourself, because before we even get into what you do, because I know that you are in charge of JSK, Mauritius, and Lagos, the whole of South Africa, the whole works. You're a big guest. But before we even get into that, how did you start in that line of science and technology? A lot of young people are afraid of that subject. They're afraid of even getting involved in IT. And they feel it's just, they are such a minority, they don't even bother. How did you stay in that class, and how did you maneuver your way to the top?
Well, growing up, there's just been that thinking that when you're a very good student, by default, you'll be assigned in a science class. So by virtue of that, I found myself in science class. I did sciences, and then I finished. And when I graduated, I love maths. I still love maths a lot. So I actually wanted to study computer science, or I didn't want to do medicine, anything like that, because it wasn't my thing at all. So I looked around and I was like, okay, what else can I do in science? I can't sit down and be solving maths. I don't want to be a teacher either. So I went into computer science. I applied to go into computer science at OAU, but unfortunately I was given an engineering course. And then because I didn't want to do that, I left my second year and I went to a private university where I got to study computer science.
Bowen University.
Bowen University, yes. And then I graduated from that, and I finished with the first class. Wow. And my dad was proud and said, okay, why not go for your master's? Thank you. And then I was opportune to go for my master's in information security management in University of Salford. And then
you came back home and got a job, right?
Yes.
Then
so I had a distinction.
So you had a distinction?
Yes.
Fantastic. So did they poach you from the US, or did you apply also from the UK, or did you come to Nigeria first and get into the system and now apply for a job? Because people always have that difficulty, especially those coming back home.
Yes.
How did you do it?
So I had not served before going for my master's degree, because I left the same year I graduated from university. So I came back home and I wanted to serve. Okay. So because I had computer science degree and also with my master's, they posted me to an IT of a bank.
Oh, okay.
I started off with Stanbic IBTC.
Oh, nice.
So I worked in the IT department for my service year. I got retained right after, and then I started off from there.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm curious, because I know that back in secondary school, when they share you into your classes, the science class, the social sciences, the arts class, the very fly students are always in the arts. Now, the science students somehow are just those they are mostly nerds with the glasses and all of that. So it's not really interesting. And even when you get into the university, it's not interesting for somebody, a young girl who wants to live like a girl, to be in the sciences. What are you doing as a role model to support some of these students who, they have a flair for science, they have the brain to carry it, but at the same time, they still want to look fly?
Yes, I would say what are the things that can be done. So there could be, situations where those of us in the field can go, if it's a day, in 3 months, in a quarter, and go to schools and talk to them and tell them that I am a woman in STEM. I'm a woman and I'm in technology, and this is what I do. And do I look fly? Yes. So, mere speaking to them, mere talking to them, and they can see a role model and see, okay, this is someone she's living a good life, not necessarily a nerd, and she's in science. That goes a long way in shaping their imagination, in shaping what they want to do. And then they can actually see that I can live my life and also do what I want to do.
So I did sciences, and in
Lab, I think.
yeah, in secondary school it was interesting.
Yeah.
But when I wanted to apply into the university, I struggled with JAM, and I had to now just look for any other course that we can just struggle to pass. So I ended up in science laboratory technology, and my studying now as an adult, I realized that the teachers didn't care about how you would assimilate the knowledge. Their own aim was just to dump the information on you. Anyhow you want to get it, get it. Was that the same experience you had? When you went into school, was it that the style they taught you, you connected with it all through, or you just rather liked reading? Because it makes people understand that I'm studying psychology now, and I'm feeling like, okay, maybe if I had focused in school, I'll have finished and done I'll have passed very well. But what was your own experience, and how would someone struggling academically now, what would you tell that person to help the person finish with a first class?
Sadly, what you described is what is obtainable in most federal institutions, state-owned universities, where the lecturers just want to pass on the information and then dump it, and then you sort yourself out. But from my experience, being private university, it was actually the second year. I'm in the second graduating set. So, we were few. So there was a bit more focus on trying to make sure we were involved, and so I wouldn't be able to really say I had that experience. But yes, during my first year in OAU, it was just about how many of us in the class. Imagine a whole amphitheater with lots of people, and the lecturer is just talking. So you have to put that additional effort. You have to, even in the private university, you have to put that additional effort. If you know you don't want to have a tutu, or you want to make a pact, you want to really distinguish yourself, you have to put that additional effort. You have to enjoy what you're doing and also invest your time and resources.
So I've seen you inspire young girls. I saw you at Dare to Inspire, and I saw the crowd of young girls, all of them screaming and trying to be like you. But then I wondered if your family members found it okay for you to want to do science, especially our mothers that wanted their daughters in the kitchen and prepare them for husband house. Were you husband wife material at the time you wanted to marry with a tech degree and your tech inclinations? Were you husband material at the time of marriage?
Yes, definitely. I think I am.
Can you cook? Do you like?
Yes, I love cooking. My hobbies. I really I enjoy cooking. But to the fact, what you said about our parents, so I never had that experience, being that my dad was well educated. He rose to the level of an executive director of the United Bank of Africa till he retired. So it was like, it was not negotiable that you would be a kitchen. He gladly sponsored my master's degree abroad, which was a lot of money then. So I knew that I had no option. I will be a wife, fine, I am a wife, but at the same time, I should have the possibility I should have that need and I want to grow, to develop myself. Yes, exactly.
All right, I know today is International Day of Women and Girls in Science, and we're trying to also help young people understand that this career is worth getting into. Could you share a bit of experience in GSK? And I know that, especially as somebody having that kind of portfolio, South Africa, Mauritius, Lagos, and all that, how did you get to that level where you had, and what exactly what's the scope of work exactly? So when somebody listening to you can say, okay, I want to be like her. What's your scope of duty handling that portfolio?
Okay, so I presently look after technology for Nigeria, South Africa, and Mauritius. And before then, I was looking after Nigeria, West Africa, and Nigeria and the rest of West Africa, not the Francophone countries. And basically, what my job entails is to help business to the next level using technology.
Right.
So basically business partnering. One thing we all need to know about technology or any aspects of work is that you are there to support the business.
Right.
So if whatever you're doing does not align with the business objective, then you need to check what you're doing. So what is my role? I'll give an example. One of the GSK's objectives is, okay, we want to be able to ensure that our patients get the right medicines and they're able to live longer and do better. How do I, as the tech manager, support that business objective? I have to go back, step back and think about what technology innovation or ideas can I provide to the business so they can use that to reach patients.
Do you have challenges with men? Sorry, I'll come to you. Men issues, competition, you know, with
Being the boss.
Being the boss. You know, they find it difficult to listen to what I'm talking to me about.
Well, I'll say
Outside the country, Nigeria?
not really. GSK, funny enough, is, you know, to even be very absorbed of you to discriminate anybody. You know, so
Okay, so you
being
don't
a
have
global
that in
institute,
India.
we don't have that. But in the past,
Yeah.
I was, before joining GSK, I was at an interview and the recruiting manager asked me a very funny question and said, that you're a woman now, hope you not come in now and get pregnant.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
I was like, really? You know, I didn't want to have more children, even at that time. But the question just
Was
caught me
very-
unaware.
yeah.
That this is
discriminatory.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. Yeah, so you know that this STEM we talk about, that's the science, technology, engineering, math, is a tool for development and competitiveness. And countries that have gone way above in technology have a lot of their women involved, like countries like China, Japan, and all of that. The workforce in the sciences, they have a lot of women. Now, what do you think because I was in a conference with other African nationals, and there were a lot of women in the sciences compared to what we have in Nigeria. And they are actually developing if you go through their data. So what do you think we can do as a nation to support a lot of women getting into the sciences? Because the truth is, you catch them from secondary school. And in secondary school, we have a lot of them in classes who are actually very interested in the subject. But somewhere along the line, when it's time to get into the university, they just go the other way.
Yeah. So for a nation or even an organization, they have to realize that the world population, at least 50%, are women. So by the time you don't encourage women to get into technology, who's going to bring the ideas that will suit women or that will solve problems of women? Not the men, definitely. They can try, but a woman can bring more ideas because she's living it. She's an example. She can say that let's launch this product that will talk to these women, that will solve this problem for women. And when your product or your idea solves the problem, it's bound to sell. So when people realize that, then they can do more and focus more on women. They can go to school. They can encourage young people, you know, to do more, to speak, even if, you know, do so many
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. Yes. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I really want to appreciate your view crew, Brayo, and the rest of the girls. You are actually doing a very wonderful job.
Thank you,
I really
Ali.
like your topic today. It actually connects with me, you know, in everything I do. I'm a PhD holder in media psychology. And for the fact that you are bringing Sherry Part onto your program today, I also have another point of connection there. My university here is the University of Salford. So as Salfordians, I'm bringing, you know, one good tidings to you, you know, and for doing us proud. On the topics of, you know, the portrayal of violence and what have you in the Nigerian Nollywood, I would really want us to, you know, take all the points, you know, highlighted by Nima. They are very cogent points in view of, you know, the discussion. I wouldn't want to, you know, talk too much on that. She has actually elaborated, you know, and spoke eloquently on the topic. As if she, you know, she's an expert on the subject. I really want to give it to her. And I also really want to take some cue from, you know, Obiageli's, you know, talk, especially with regards to the role of the censor board and, you know, National Orientation Agency. I wouldn't want us to, you know, play lip service with what some of these portrayals. They are actually real. You know, we talk about, you know, media effects, and of course it has been, you know, a long topic, you know, right from the beginning of, you know, the industry, starting from radio, television, and right now, even up to the internet era.
Right.
So
Thank you so much, Wale. Thank you very much.
I wanted to ask you a question. Parental involvement and parental follow-up. You had a supportive, obviously from your story, a supportive parent, people that were willing to say, this is not the course she wants to do, let's take her to where she wants to study. What's the impact you see, and I see, and from your CV and your report that we've read about you, Obviously, you involved with a lot of girls, trying to encourage them to get more into science. What has been the feedback you get from girls as the reason they probably didn't want to pursue sciences? And how do you think parents can engage their words more into getting more involved in science?
Good question. So I was at a conference the other day, and one of the kids told me that I'm really interested in coding, but my mother won't allow me. She thinks I'm going to be a Yahoo Yahoo, you know. And I was like, just get me her phone number. Let me talk to her. Let me talk to her. That this is the future. She cannot do this. So as a parent, you have to be enlightened. There's no excuse for ignorance. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be able to support your children.
What if someone watching right now isn't an enlightened parent, watching this show and is hearing what are the opportunities in the science field for their daughters to tap into? Let's sell STEM to parents watching right now.
STEM, any area in STEM, a woman can play in any area. It's not, I don't see what a man can do that a woman cannot do. We have female engineers, we have female programmers,
researchers,
female security professionals.
Most Nigerians hear STEM and wonder, kini STEM.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what STEM has recently in this present generation been able to solve. Some of our problems in society that STEM has brought solutions for, and that people in this area of business are continually growing. That you can highlight.
So STEM is science.
While you're thinking of that, I'll let you take this call. While you're thinking of that, Hassan, are you still there? He's been holding for a while.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Hassan. Thanks for calling. Go ahead,
Good
please.
morning, all of you.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Obiajulu, I'm one of your fans.
Thank you.
I'm disappointed today.
Oh, sorry.
You know why?
Why?
People are very good in defending their 18, in defending their constituency.
Okay.
You understand? That is what is killing us in Nigeria today. When it comes to law, you see Nima defending her 18.
I get it.
Oh, are you there?
I think we lost the call.
Mr. Hassan, oh, please try to call back.
Please break down STEM.
Network, yes.
STEM is everything relating to science, technology, engineering. And what kind of profession comes from STEM? Doctors, engineers, technologists, bankers, all sorts.
Your Facebook is a product of STEM.
Exactly. Somebody sat down and wrote that program, and we are all on Facebook. And you can imagine the amount of activity, business happens on Facebook, all sorts of things. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution, and it isn't engineering, it is digital. So that means a lot of problems are going to be solved with digital
To add to what you're saying, there's a professor, I read the papers today, there's a professor of criminology, I think in the University of Calabar, he was in the papers today, and he was saying that our problem is not to get more police officers. We don't even need police. What we are recruiting, what we need is technology.
Yes.
To solve this we need intelligence. Exactly. We need technology to solve our issue of criminality. And we need people to be able to create systems or technology such that you can actually monitor people.
Applications.
You can actually ensure and know what's going on in each various local governments in the various states just from your computer.
Yeah.
And we're complaining today about the IPPIS that the government had launched, that all salaries are going to be paid through the system. These are part of the things that somebody created software such that you pay salaries and then you can monitor what's going on.
I'll add to that. Uber does not have a car.
Right.
And now they've disrupted the transportation business. Lots of the yellow cabs are off. Same thing Airbnb. They don't have a single hotel. And the hospitality business, they are running it. This is done by some set of people who saw a need and used technology to solve that problem.
Fantastic. Let me take a call and I'll come to you. Good morning. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I want to really appreciate you for what you are doing on your view.
Thank you, madam.
Let me quickly talk about the Nollywood stuff.
Yes.
I want to say emphatically that we are not getting value from these people. Talk of all sorts of things. They are the ones that promote nudity. You see them dressing. Morayo, I see the way you dress. I see the way each and every one of you dress. I've never seen any of you bringing out your breast. But these are the things we see in Nollywood. And you see, these are the things our teenagers are copying. All sorts of atrocities you can ever think of is what is being promoted. It is true they want to sell. But at the same time, they should think of the future of our teenagers. That is very important. Then I want to quickly appreciate your guest that you have brought today. At least I've been enlightened a bit. When he was talking about coding and saying that the mother said, no, you are not going to, because you are going to be a Yahoo. My son is currently studying computer sciences, mathematics in OAU. And he came home one day and he said, Mommy, I want to do ethical, what is it? Hacking.
Yes.
I said, no. How can you be an hacker if it's still a hack? He said, no, Mommy, there are good ones. I said, okay, what do you do with this thing? And he said that you can work with SDSS, you can work with... I said, no, I don't want you to go and work where they will start pursuing you. But somehow he was able to enlighten me and said, no, Mommy, these are the things that is really... So it's really good when we have somebody like this, especially a woman coming up. I think these are the things that we encourage our students. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I actually wanted to highlight something she said earlier, because it's important that we put these things in proper perspective. Yes, Nollywood has done theirs, and I don't want us to totally hold Nollywood responsible for everything. Because the same way at Hollywood, yes, there are movies being done, but that same society still produced a Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
So it all goes back to how you train
who
you are.
The values you put in your children.
Yeah. So at the same time, you're right. It's definitely
different from what you think.
Many people on
So
Twitter,
it's
producers
harder.
on Twitter are all for BC and I, saying that it is out of their hands. Whenever they produce good movies,
Which are you reading now?
whenever they produce good
The ones
movies,
I'm reading are for me.
no, whenever they produce good movies, they take it to the marketers. They can't distribute. Like the distributors will say, if you don't have comedy, if you don't have nudity, you can't go far.
That
So
is
we need to
why.
get more
Oh my
people
goodness,
involved.
I love this subject. This is my area of and that's why we need to stop going to the marketers.
Yeah.
What you need
But
to
how do we break
produce
even?
a movie, you go to the cinemas. That's where you make your money.
When they have a click there.
This is a conversation we need to take outside the space.
Yes,
but,
yes.
but we need to find a way to boycott these guys.
Yes, because
these
they are the
guys
ones that
cannot call
determine
the
what's
shots.
going
They
on.
can't call the shots for you, but
They
let's
tell
go
you
back-
what to put in each movie.
Let's go back to our guest.
Yes, so
please
I
go
have a
ahead.
question for you. So when I went to Dubai, I saw a mobile police station. Nobody there.
Eh?
Yes, so you just go, you type, report
Self-service.
what, self-service, police station. And the fear is, we will come to a point when we project digital, this digital era, yes, for a while, that people will start losing jobs. And our schools are not equipped to prepare our youths for the jobs of tomorrow.
Jobs are going.
Yes, the jobs are gone already, almost gone already. So as you are in the science, go, what do you think the government can do to... Because the truth is, you may want sciences, but then you get into the laboratories and there are no equipment for you to work on. How do you learn? And that's the situation we have in our schools today. So what do you think the government can do in this angle?
Definitely. What you said just now, was a topic at one of the leadership team meetings we had in the past at GSK. There's no doubt some jobs are going to go, definitely. But what should be done? We should constantly review the courses being studied in university.
Curriculum.
When there are new programming languages, and at a university they're still teaching Pascal and Basic, which are old programming languages. How do you expect those people to compete in the workplace? So it's now for the regulators, the university, to review the courses. What is going to happen in the next, a lot of predictions have happened, and some jobs are going to be out. They are going to be replaced totally. Alibaba's warehouse, almost the warehouse is managed by robots.
All through.
AliExpress.
Yes, AliExpress, exactly.
Even
Robots,
Amazon.
because robots can work 24/7, they will not get tired. And they work based on rules. So step one, do this. Step two, do this. They will not make mistakes. They will not stop and gist with another person.
Another robot.
wasting
We
time.
have very little time left. I'm
Hi.
sorry, but I want you to see you're Nigerian. We're all Nigerians here. Let's
Yes,
bring
sir.
it home. Because there are problems that technology can solve. And I'd like you to help us highlight some of these problems that we see every single day.
Please let me quickly come in before we go there, because BC asked a question on how to deal with the challenge in schools.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I speak at events, a lot of events with young people, and I hear this story, so I don't want it to hang like that.
Yeah.
I tell people that are complaining, my school doesn't have equipment, my school doesn't have gadgets. Everything you need to learn in this world is on the internet. Watch YouTube videos, use Google, it is your friend. You can get the latest codes and how to do it from, so you might be in school to get a certificate because really we need it. But in STEM, certificate is nothing if you can't do it.
practical
So
aspect.
practice by going online.
And all these
localized
resources are
problems.
free. They
Yes,
are very
a lot
free
of
on the
them are free.
internet.
A lot of
So
them.
we have issues of recycling. We have issues of
Waste
cars being
management.
parked on the road, and you have the decomposing
educational sector.
tires. We have so many problems. We have traffic issues.
Give me an app.
We need. Now, my question to you: all these issues we see, refuse. Can technology solve that problem? Because maybe parents who can begin to see that possibility can encourage their children in that line. So if they see that, okay, my children can solve problems, can technology solve issues of refuse, environmental degradation, issues of waste and traffic issues that we're having,
education,
sewage? And how can technology help?
Yeah, technology can help, you know. What digital is, the definition of digital is doing something better, basically. That is it. You're doing 1 + 1 adding, but the moment you digitalize it, it becomes simpler and more efficient. I'll take security as an example. One quick win for Nigeria is the ability to gather the data of over almost 200 million people that we have, such that one person can be uniquely identified. If there's anything security-wise, they can pinpoint that person up to his home address and whatever relation and get hold of that person. I really don't know why we haven't gotten that right. We have BVN, we have NIN numbers, all sorts of numbers. Why can't we put that together and digital and have one central source for, to take care of all the citizens of Nigeria? And that way, you want to rent a house, you want to buy a car, you breach traffic laws. You can easily control that area. When we get that out of the way, we've solved a lot of
the problem.
And that's the problem somebody watching can solve.
Let's take a few tweets, please. We have to run. I think
Yes, we have tweets. So VI8 says Nigeria is static today because we have refused to embrace technology. The only way to fight corruption and put things in place. The government and politicians know this, and they do all to decline any suggestions towards technology. Okay. Mabwala says, okay.
Christine Shaibu says, loving your guest today, Sharifa Akinwumi, great role model for women in science. Yaro says, some jobs have to go for technology. Tech brings development and we need to embrace it here in Nigeria.
Fantastic. That's all we can take. But thank you so much for joining us. It was such a pleasure having you. Any more tweets?
Yes, Abdullahi says, was talking on the films. All these films are available to download at any given time. And the damages this film and television program cause to the society is enormous. Somebody else is also praising our guest today. They're loving you. Everybody on Instagram on Twitter is loving you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
On that note, that's all we can take. We have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Wednesday live show, right?
Yes.
So come early so you can get a seat, okay? See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.